special episode of the Fools on a Hill podcast. I'm your host, Cal, and I am joined today by Yanni and Liam, as always.
Hey.
I don't want to hear from you
We're
because
here.
this is the second recording
We up in this.
in the day.
Hey.
Over the next month, every Thursday, we will be releasing our Album of the Year nominations. So, starting today with my top 10. Next week will be Liam's top 10. The week after will be Yanni's top 10. And the week after that, we will rank our ultimate top 10.
Gonna rank ourselves dry.
What about the week after that, Colin? What's happened the week after that?
We'll go back to one episode a week, and you can all stop moaning about how much this is affecting everything we do. Okay?
It is.
Okay.
Brilliant. So let's go straight into it,
Please, Colin.
because that's how you introduce something, Liam, unlike you with your dilly-daddling.
Diddly diddly daddly.
So for my top 10, I have made it so every album I own on vinyl. I'd like to say that before we start.
And why have you done that?
I think if I've gone out of my way to buy the album, clearly I have more of an affinity with it.
I'm interested to know, Colin, has that hindered your ranking in any way? Because I know that personally that does hinder my ranking. Only
Yes,
one,
that
though.
is
only
actually correct. Same with one, and I will
one.
tell you what that is when I get there.
Why didn't you just not have this stupid arbitrary rule, and then you
Yes.
could have included that
Because-
one?
Well, fuck off.
That's a good
This is
enough
this is
excuse
my
to say.
rule. If you don't want to
Okay.
adhere to that rule when it comes
Yeah.
to your top 10,
No, that's
That's
fine.
great.
No, I'm just
I
We're
have
different
not,
people.
Listen,
have not done that at all.
big love, Colin. Big love. We just want to know.
peace and love, Ringo. Peace and love.
Oh God. Okay, Colin. Well, come on, crack on, son. Crack on. Give us, tell us. Let us know.
I'm gonna first go with my honourable mentions. Number one.
Ding dong.
No, I'm gonna start with the honourable mentions, Jan, and work my way up to numero uno.
Okay.
Yeah, Yanni, what you earning about, mate?
I don't know. I always like the honourable mentions before number one, but then it'll just make it more confusing. So don't.
Yeah, definitely.
that.
Don't
Oh, I
do
know
that.
what you mean. Yeah.
Visually,
If it was- yeah,
yes.
if it was a video thing, yeah.
Audio, no.
Oh,
This is not a video thing.
what? Sorry.
No, this is just for my.
Then why am I recording this? Is it just for you, Liam?
Why did I get naked?
So, my first honourable mention is Everything Else Has Gone Wrong by Bombay Bicycle Club. Next is The Slow Rush by Tame Impala.
The Slow
No.
Rush.
After that, it's Ultra Mono by Idols. I think that's quite generous to be in my honourable mentions,
Oh.
to be fair.
Okay.
Because
Naughty,
the
naughty.
songs I really like are up there in my favourite Idols tunes, but as a whole.
Mhm.
Next up is Future Nostalgia by Dua Lipa. Absolutely great pop album. Next is A Celebration of Endings by Cliffy Byro.
Oh,
Didn't like it at all when I first heard it. It's growing on me. I think this is a classic example of my love for a band
Mm.
boosting an album.
Yep.
But there we are.
We also come to
And
it.
yeah, the aforementioned album that really was tickling my top 10.
Oh,
I wish I could be
Oh,
tipping
I
your
can feel
top
it.
10, you naughty boy.
Was Heaven to a Tortured Mind by
Hmm.
Eve Schumer.
so
The more I think about it, the more annoyed I am.
yeah,
This isn't
Well,
in my
you've
top
done
10.
this to yourself
Because
with your
you've
I
really
know.
done
stupid
this to
rule.
yourself. You really have.
Even more annoying is I bought it on vinyl yesterday.
I mean,
just hasn't
surely
arrived.
you can. I'm
Nah,
not
it
going to argue
hasn't
this rule
arrived.
You've
anymore,
not
Colin.
started
This
your
is
top 10 yet,
ridiculous.
mate. You've got time to...
This is a
Yeah,
ridiculous rule here.
It is a ridiculous rule, but I'm happy because I've gone into more detail with the other one, so I'm not going to swap now.
Okay.
Can I ask? Could I ask?
No.
Feel free to not answer
The
this.
room says no.
But
cannot ask.
Eve Tumer's album, if it did fulfill the requirements for your rule that you've made,
Yep.
Where would it be? Without giving,
it'd probably be about like 4 or
Oh
something.
my
Would it?
god.
okay, you really?
Nah, I don't think it wouldn't be that high. It wouldn't be.
Okay.
I think it'd be like 6, 7, something like that. Maybe.
Would you say that's without going into your top 10 just yet? Would you say that's
Yeah.
the closest to breaking your top 10 out of the ones
Yeah.
you just mentioned?
Yeah, without a doubt. The only thing, other than the fact that I don't own it on vinyl, I don't think I've actually spent enough time with the album
Mhm.
which is making me happier about the fact that it's not in my top 10,
Fair enough.
if that makes sense. I'd just like to quickly say that the transition from Romanticist to Dream Palette is, oh my god, I have written a big fat chef's kiss. It really is so good. That is so satisfying.
It's a
And I'm
phenomenal
so
album.
excited to see what they do next.
Yeah, and you've
Because-
let them down because you came with a stupid fucking rule, and
Yep.
you know, well done, Callum.
Thank you.
I'm sure they'll be very proud of that.
Congrats.
Have you seen the video for the kerosene? I want to say
haven't.
I
Um,
have, but I can't remember it for the life of me now.
it's called family friendly version. It's not family friendly.
I was going to say, I'm sure it's not.
Definitely not.
Just
But
the
yeah.
just the like the Spotify little video things that they have.
Mm.
They all scare me a little bit, if I'm honest.
A little bit.
A little bit scary. So I can imagine the music videos are equally as shocking.
Yes.
Brilliant.
But alas, we must go into the top 10.
Du-du-du-du.
Yanni, have you frozen or are you just bemused?
I am incredibly still while I'm watching this kerosene music video.
Oh, right, okay.
He's scared. He's shivering. He's quivering in his boots.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Oh, he's dead.
I'm
He's
going to
dead.
carry on. I'm going to carry on.
Please.
I would.
In 10th place is The Performer by James Wrighton. James Wrighton, previously of Klaxons, released a album under Shock Machine in 2017. Something I've previously gone back and listened to some of. Again, very good. But this is his first studio album after releasing a soundtrack to Simon Amstell's film Benjamin last year.
Mhm.
I believe he worked on Tranquility Base Hotel and Casino, which has quite evidently formed some of his style in both dress sense and musicality.
The fifth monkey. Is that what you're saying?
Well, probably like the 9th at this point.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
Ooh,
But I think I read this from a YouTube comment. He looks like he's been bitten by Alex Turner, and it literally is true. But yeah, that's not a complaint from me. My favourite tracks on the album are The Performer, the title track, and also the opener, Edie, which is a song for his daughter, Devil is Loose, and Start. Reminds me a bit, ever so slightly, of Metronomy, which I'm sure you two will disagree on. A bit of Arctic Monkeys, the latest track, and a bit of Nick Cave. I'd also just like to point out that the Performer riff really rips off Cold as Ice by Foreigner. If you can get past that, great tune. And if you're asked, I own it on a standard black vinyl.
Ah, good job or not. So,
I'm going to do that for all the albums because I've
Brilliant.
said that I've got them all. So
yeah.
why
You
not?
put these all on vinyl?
Oh,
I do,
oh,
mate, yeah.
that's
Oh,
weird.
wow.
You should have done a thing where you only do the ones on vinyl and then really fucked yourself over because you missed
Yeah.
off one of your favourite albums. So you say that it's the fella from. I'm going to be honest. I haven't listened to this one.
Well, good job. We said we were all going to listen to each other.
I think Yanni has, so we're lucky there.
You were thinking wrong.
Okay, apologies. It's only this one though. It's only this one. Just didn't get a chance to listen to it. But
Okay.
I will do if now you've mentioned Metronomy. I'm interested. James,
You probably won't think it's like Metronomy at all.
I will definitely let you know. But so he's from Klaxons.
Yep.
Is he the singer from Klaxons?
Yes, the one who was married to Keira Knightley.
Oh wow! Congratulations, James.
Big result.
So obviously he's got quite a from the stuff of Klaxons. He's got an interesting vocal style, I guess you could say.
Hi.
Yeah.
The high register doesn't really come into play that much.
So
Okay.
leads into my next question then. So it's not. You obviously mentioned it's quite similar to Arctic Monkeys. You think it's similar to Metronomy.
When
Is it-
will the
is it
question
similar
happen?
to now? Shut up. Is it similar to Klaxons? Or is he straight?
Not even remotely.
Okay.
I'm
Interesting.
not convinced it's the same person.
So it's a Paul McCartney situation.
It's
Is that what we're
Keira
saying?
Knightley.
James Wrighton
It's actually
was
Keira
killed
Knightley.
on a motorway.
James writing I. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think I mean, I'm all for people. I hate it when people who are in successful bands just try and mimic it for the rest of their time because it's never going to be good. So I'm quite happy that he has completely ventured away. So yeah, it's kind of an extension of the Shock Machine project, but I think a bit more piano based, kind of.
And that's your number 10 of 2020. Callum, thank you for the
Loud.
cough.
I was gonna ignore things like that. I can edit it out. I can't edit it out.
Callum
How can I?
coughed. He's probably gonna. He might try still. He did cough. But
I'll lower the volume at the very least.
thank you for talking for your number 10, Callum. I think up next is
Yes.
number. What was it, Yanni?
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number 9.
Number
Number
9.
9.
Turn me on, dead man.
Ugh.
Number 9 is Appalling Human by Wesley Gonzalez. I heard Wesley's tune Change on BBC Six Music, and boy,
Stonking.
did it. Yeah, great tune. Boy, did it turn me on. It's his second album after releasing Excellent Musician in 2017, released on Moshi Moshi Records, and he used to be the lead singer of a band called Let's Wrestle. Anyone know?
Nope.
Anyone?
I have heard of that band. I think.
No, you haven't. Don't lie.
No, I've heard. I haven't listened to them, but I've heard.
I
of
was
that band.
actually going to mention that before you said it.
Shut up. I've seen that written down somewhere. Is it with an exclamation mark?
Not to my knowledge. I've not written an
Oh.
exclamation mark in my notes.
Okay.
So you're just talking bollocks, aren't you?
All right.
My favourite tracks from the record are Try to Tell Me Something, Wind Your Neck In, something I quite often want to say to Liam.
Liam is good with that
Shit.
phrase, especially in the
I'm
weather's
very good. I'm very good at that.
Change, Come Through and See Me, Girl, You're My Family Now, If I'm Sad, and Did You Get What You Paid For? Quite a few standouts for me on this album, which makes me wonder why it's number 9. But
Number
there we
9.
are.
Do you regret that?
No, because I mean it's my 9th favourite record of the year.
All makes perfect sense.
That's true. That's true.
Is that all you'd like to say on that, or is there more of Mr. Gonzalez that you'd like to tell us about?
Well, I own it on a pink vinyl, which I purchased from Moshi Moshi Records, which is beautiful. And
Beautiful.
they sent a white label of Wading in the Warmest Ocean / Big Mirror by Slow Club, which I got for completely free,
Completely free.
which was very nice.
That is
But yeah,
nice.
great album. I really like. I've gone back and listened to Excellent Musician since, and I like the singles, but I think this is more cohesive as an album.
Sorry.
Go on, no. Sorry.
Before you
I was just
finish.
going to waffle to fill the silence.
I'll follow. I again, as an appalling human, didn't listen to this. But I believe Yanni has.
Yanni
You
did.
said you hadn't. You said you listened to everything other
No,
than
no,
James
I
Wright,
didn't
you
because
liar.
I knew that Yanni had, so I
Oh, fair
saved myself because I didn't.
You've
like
not
what I
saved
heard,
yourself. You've just landed yourself in it.
So, here we are.
I listened to it. Yeah, well, like you say, the standout tracks would be identical. To be honest with you, it's consistent. He has a style, and he consistently sticks with it throughout the whole album. No, it's good. I can see why it'd be your 9th favorite. Especially when you've put it on vinyl. I mean, you have to put it on your list then, don't you?
Of course.
That's the rule.
Um,
That's the rule.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what he does next because I mean, he's still in the early days of his career, isn't he? Really, I
Yeah.
suppose. Sophomore album, would you call it?
Probably would, yeah.
Callum, I'm interested before we go any further now. Just while we're still at the bottom, obviously you mentioned before if you did have Eve Tumor on vinyl, that would have been in here. So James Wright, I assume, would have been knocked off.
Yeah. Sorry, James, if you're listening when we tag you in this.
Apologies, James. You were close
Yeah.
then.
Sorry about
well, you're
knocking
actually
you off,
you're on
James.
number 10. To be fair, because Callum's got the stupid rule. But were there any other that you don't have on vinyl that would have potentially pushed Wesley down, or do you think Wesley's top 10?
No.
Firm.
I think Wesley is top 10. Out of my honourable mentions, the only 2 I didn't have on record were Eve Tumor and Dua Lipa.
Okay.
And
Dewey didn't make the cut.
no, I think it's a great album, but for me personally, I prefer all of these. are on my list.
Oh, that's brutal. That. Sorry, dear.
I know, yeah. I'm sure she's gutted. I'm sure she's devastated.
that.
All the awards she's
really
won.
ruined the Christmas.
This will really stop her sleeping at night. Number 8,
Yeah.
we have got Every Bad by Porridge Radio. My first experience of this band was watching the Mercury Prize 2020 when they performed Sweet. I hadn't heard anything about them before. I'm sure they only had like 3,000 followers on Twitter. I don't know if that's grown since, but I was completely unaware. This is their second album. I've gone back. I haven't. I lie. I have not gone back and listened to their first album yet, but it's something that I want to do. My favourite tracks are Born Confused, Sweet, Give/Take, and Lilac. My one criticism of this album is lyrically it's quite repetitive. There's a lot of outros that repeat the same lyrics, and I mean, I don't know the story behind them. There might be reasons, but it kind of ruins my immersion with it ever so slightly, because originally I thought this would be higher. But overall, great album. I really, really enjoy it. Excited to see what they do next. I got it on Cotton Candy Splash vinyl, which is a resident exclusive. Number 24 out of 300.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's pretty
happy
good.
with
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Pretty high up, ain't it, mine?
Liam, I know you're a reasonable fan of Porridge Radio.
Yeah, I very much like this album from this year. I enjoy it. Enjoy it. It doesn't quite. Listen, I'm going to do my top 10, but yeah, I think it's. That's next week, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever day it is, 14th.
Thursday, yeah.
So you can listen there. I'm probably whatever. It's a good album. I personally think I prefer the first album, so I'll be interested to hear what you think of that one when you get a chance to listen to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely see why it would have a place in your top 10. I think it's a very solid album.
Yanni, you listened?
I haven't, but were they the people that released that Christmas song? Where
Yes.
yeah, I hated that, so I will not be playing it.
I mean,
Fair enough.
to be fair, that isn't too far stylistically from their normal stuff. So
Lovely.
No, it was quite similar, just they said Christmas.
yeah, so
Wow, yeah.
you're not a Porridge Radio fan.
Not at all. Not from the one song I've heard.
I think they're a good. Some of the best of that kind of style of music, which seems popular. I'm not going to compare them to other bands, but if you know what I mean, then you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean. Callum,
Hello.
numero 7. What is it?
Number 7.
It is Polysom by Chiron Urs. I'm just
Yes.
gonna say now, there's gonna be some horrific pronunciation during this segment. But let's just embrace it, shall we?
Yes.
Please.
My favourite tracks from this album are the opener, Psionic Static, would you say?
I would. I was hoping you wouldn't say Psionic.
It's definitely psionic. Yeah, sure, certainly psionic.
Retrograde and Bat Nun, which is horrific to say. White Flies and the title track Polysom.
Well, bad,
It's
mate.
fourth album from Finnish shoegaze band. And I just found them by Googling 2020 shoegaze albums because I wanted a bit more shoegaze in my life.
He likes to gaze at his shoes.
I do. And instantly I fell in love with it. I remember it was quite a sunny day. I just put my uni work down and I just lay on my bed and just had a great time.
I'm there. I can picture it
I can
now.
feel it.
Yeah.
I'm interested though because it was released in September. Was it still sunny in September?
It was. I didn't say it was a sunny month, did I? I said it was a sunny day.
No, just. I can't,
He said
I'm
it was
just-
sunny
I'm just reminiscing
every
on 20
second,
listen,
Liam. That's what he said. Those are his exact words.
reminiscing on 2020 here, and I'm just thinking back.
Nah,
I
it's
don't remember
a bit
any
sunny.
months of 2020.
I believe it was sunny. Carry on.
Yes. I actually know very little about the band, but based on YouTube comments, apparently their second album, this is going to be the worst pronunciation. Ujuba Sujuba.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I argue with that. Yeah.
Ujuba Sujuba. I don't know.
Ujuba Sajuba.
Anyway,
Yeah.
apparently that's their best record. So I'll definitely be going back and listening to their other stuff because I'm a big fan of the old meaty shoegaze.
So
I own
meaty.
this on limited purple vinyl bought from Banquet Records, which arrived today.
Oh,
Nice.
oh,
It's like they knew.
Just
It's
made
like
it.
they knew.
Just made
I
the
got it
cut.
for Christmas off my sister. So thanks, Dan.
Oh,
It's also
Well
her birthday today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Yanni, I'm very intrigued to know your thoughts on it because we are shoegaze fans.
Yeah.
Losers.
It's I enjoyed it, but I've not found myself going back to it.
Fair.
It's a bit too light, not heavy. In my opinion, for some of the stuff I like, I don't know. Shoegaze is a weird one. I either really, really love it, and it'll be like some of my favorite songs ever, or
Mhm.
it just doesn't. It's too boring for me. And I know that's
Fair
weird because it's not meant to be the most invigorating genre, but yeah, it's got to have something. I don't know what it is, but you got to get that little tingly feeling, right on the tip, and yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, clearly I've not really had it with this one, unfortunately. But I gave it a special
No.
go just for you, Cal.
Oh, thanks, mate. Liam?
I gave it a special go just for you, Cal, as well. I wouldn't class myself as a shoegaze
You
fan.
guys.
I don't know. I mean, I
That's what we could be called, the shoe guys.
no. I don't think we should. My idea, as someone who doesn't listen to shoegaze, is that I wouldn't have thought of
You
this as
wouldn't
a
call yourself a
shoegaze
shoe
album.
guy?
Shy guy, maybe. Sorry, please, Nintendo, don't sue us. I wouldn't have thought of that as this album as shoegaze. I don't know. It doesn't seem to fit the. I always think of My Bloody Valentine as shoegaze, and I don't know. This doesn't fit in the same umbrella. But I enjoyed it anyway. I did enjoy it. I had it on the background. I wasn't paying particular attention to it, but had some peaks and troughs. But I was generally very quite good. I did think I got like 3 minutes into the first song, which is what, 8 minutes?
Sonic Static. Oh,
Sorry,
right.
6.5 minutes. Yeah, Sonic Static, 6.5 minutes long. Got 3 minutes in. I honestly did feel like I'd been listening to it for hours. Like it seemed to last a long time. But once I got past that, it felt better. But yeah, good. It's a good album. It's a
It is a very
bit
good album.
obscure one. It's nice to see you've got it on your top 10.
Indie.
It is indeed. Did you notice the song called Altair Descends on the album?
Yeah.
Altair from Assassin's Creed. Thank you.
Next up, is this number 5?
Or is this just fantasy?
That wasn't as funny as I thought it was.
6.
No, it's number 6. I should have put numbers because I can't count
That'd
clearly.
be a good idea.
Is Reanimator by Everything Everything.
I thought you were going to say Rihanna. I was like, he's not
Yeah.
like this at all.
This was arguably my most anticipated album of the year.
Well, that's
Mm.
ruined a question I was going to ask you.
God, Callum, you
You
give too much away,
bastard.
mate. Come on.
Sorry, it's almost like I'm a podcast host where I know how to speak.
Shut up.
Next word.
Yeah. This was definitely my most anticipated album of the year. Based on
yeah.
the first offering from the album in Birdsong, which is
It is.
not that we're doing a top 10 tracks of the year, but it would be in there, as well as the other
You're damn right.
the album closer, Violent Sun,
Tune.
which arguably is my favourite song of the year.
I would
Ooh.
also might be agreeing with you on that.
Really? Yeah. Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
It's very
okay.
close, you know.
Interesting.
It's not my favourite album of theirs, but them two tracks particularly are definitely some of my favourite tunes of theirs. I think it's a lot more consistent than the last album, A Fever Dream. It's nice to see some of their old sounds come through on new ideas, because I think they're better musicians now than Man Alive. Is that their first time, Man Alive? Is it?
Yeah, it is.
I think they're better musicians now, but I think
Yeah.
because they're not as raw, so I don't think the songs are necessarily as good.
Right.
But I'm excited to see what's to come. My favorite tracks are Big Climb. It Was a Monster In, which I believe mentions Purple Aki, which is just
Yes, I remember
That's
which is
texting
just
you that.
fantastic.
Yeah, it
This
does.
is just fantastic.
That's a weird
Planets,
crossover.
yeah, Planets, Arch Enemy, In Birdsong, and Violent Sun.
Planets.
I own this. I own this on a nice Milky White LP, which may as well be clear because it's not Milky White.
The white stuff. Are you made of it?
And I bought that from Banquet Records. Boys, talk to me.
I listened to this for the first time today. I am a fan of every first album, Man Alive, aforementioned. Very much like it, and then everything after that is very different to that first album, I guess, and also very similar to each other. And none of it really stands out to me much, but I did enjoy this album. Again, in the background, but nothing really holds up for me to that first album. I'm interested to know, Callum, of the albums they've released, where this kind of where this lands.
I think third.
Okay, and what would you say? What would you say is your top album?
I'd go with Get to Heaven,
Okay,
Man Alive, Reanimator, Ark, A Fever Dream.
see, I would say not far off the same. Interesting.
I think maybe mixing Ark and Reanimator, but because of In Birdsong and Violent Sun.
Mm-hmm. That'll sound great.
Up.
Wow.
Hurting my ears.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see where they go.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy, the bass player, did a nice little masterclass in my university, and it was just nice to hear some of the creative aspects of the album and how like releasing it in lockdown and all that jazz.
Go on,
Oh,
share,
boy,
share a
really?
bit with us. Go on. No,
Ah.
I'd like to hear a little
No,
bit.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to.
I'm
It
glad
was my
this is in
privilege of
your
going
top
to
10,
music.
Cal, because I also really, 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 really love this album. I remember us both being excited as F
Yeah.
for this to come out.
I remember when In Birdsong came out. I think it was the first song we put on when we saw each other after the first lockdown was this in your car, and
Oh,
just had a bit of a moment, didn't we?
We did.
sweet. Oh.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was driving down the Hooten.
Possibly.
Sure, it was there. Whatever that road's called.
But
Anyway,
yeah, very good album. Moving on.
yes.
Thanks for that flashback.
Next, we have The Archer by Alexandra Saviour. Initially, this was going to be a lot further down in my list.
Oh.
It was going to be in my top 10, but it was going to be further down. I listened to it today, and my Christ, what a voice. It's Alexandra's second album after Belladonna of Sadness in 2016. Personally, I prefer the first album, but this album, she went off by herself because the first album she was writing a lot with Alex Turner.
Off, sister.
First album she was writing a lot with Alex Turner, and she got dropped by Columbia just before this record was released.
Like Taylor Swift.
No,
Yeah,
she
for
got dropped
6
from the
months.
moon. Yeah, I'm very
Brutal.
confused.
Yeah, so the more I hear the album, the more I love it. Her voice is incredible, and I just love everything about it. I'm not going to lie to you. It's nice to see that she has pushed out from being, the person who writes with Alex Turner. I think she's stood out well by herself. Probably won't be as commercially successful as the first album. Now she's with, I can't remember the name. I think it's 30th Century Records or something. Danger Mouse was involved in the album somehow.
All
I think
right.
it's his record label. And it shows that she is a great songwriter. She co-wrote Miracle Alina, which is arguably
Wow.
Alex Turner's best song.
Yeah, arguably.
Maybe.
Liam loves
And
it.
I think it's
it was
great
it was originally going to be on her album. Liam, didn't you know?
stuff. I'm glad it's not.
Gobsmacked.
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
Alex Turner probably went, "Nah, I'll have that one.
Yeah, that one's a hit.
I'll have that." But yeah, my favourite tunes off it are "Soft Currents," Saving Grace, Crying All the Time, Howl, Can't Help Myself, But You, and The Archer. And I own it on a nice peach marble vinyl that
Oh,
I bought from
peachy.
Banquet Records yet again. Clearly my go-to record provider.
Clearly.
Name
Any
drop.
thoughts and feelings, boys?
Not
Yanni?
very memorable for me, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
I should have probably given it more of a chance.
Yeah, probably.
But that's all I have to say on it, I'm afraid. Do you believe in life after love?
Yeah.
I'm glad she's because that. If I finish the sentence, if you heard on it,
Go on, Yanni.
that like being a co-writer with Alex Turner is quite a big thing to step away from. I can't
based
think
on
of
a
what
lot
I'm
of
trying to say.
interviews. Based on a lot of interviews, it seems like at first it was great co-writing with Alex Turner, but then it seems like it was controlling's the wrong word, but like I feel like it didn't let her show her creative side. It was quite.
It's like
They were trying to mold her into.
it's like the thing, isn't it? It's like that's all people really care about. Like, oh, well, let's see what Alex Turner did on this or helped
Yeah.
out in which way on this song.
Mhm.
Mm.
I remember a lot of when songs were being released, people were in the comments would still talk about Alex Turner. I'm sure they still do it now. I'm sure it's quite annoying for her.
I bet, yeah, but that's like when you get all the exes on
Yeah.
social media and they're all like
Yeah.
messages about Alex Turner and stuff. Must be
But
really
at first,
frustrating.
do you remember that Alexandra Saviour an introduction video?
Yes,
That's quite predominantly featuring Alex.
yes.
So I feel like at first it would have been great because exposure. She was
Yep.
like 16, 17,
Yeah.
stupid in that video. And then realised as she got older and more mature that she probably wanted to be more creative.
Like a
and
fine cheese.
Yeah, those cheeses that always think, do you know what? I want to be more independently creative.
So
Do you know why she got dropped by any chance?
well, probably because the relationship with Alex Turner maybe like fizzled out. Like she wanted to, and maybe the album wasn't as commercially successful. I don't know.
I just wanted to jump in for myself and also for others who may also be unaware of the situation with Alex and Alexandra Saviour and Alex Turner. So they were writing together just for funsies and then sharing it, or were they doing it specifically for her album? Or
It was for her album. I think Columbia put Alexandra Saviour under Alex's tutelage. But
Right.
I'd also like to know, because like Shades, the song was released a lot before the album.
right.
And I think he co-wrote that, I think. So I'm intrigued to know how long they were working together for. Because I know that the first album got penned back a lot. But I don't know. But
Interesting.
back to The Archer.
Yeah.
Very
That's
good
it.
album. I enjoy it a lot. Wonderful voice.
Good.
More please, Alexandra.
Good. I'm glad to hear that you appreciate a solo effort.
Moving
Yes,
on
So much to give it a number 6.
up.
5. Even.
Yes, 5. Number 4, though, is West of Eden by HMLTD, formerly known as Happy Meals Limited.
Or
Yep.
Hamilton.
Never.
This is the long-awaited but amazing, if I say so myself,
We all say
Debut.
it. We all
Yeah.
say it, Callum.
debut from a band that, to me, are... I'm going to sound so insincere when I say this. Insincere? They're just so exciting, and just everything they do is just... I can't wait to see what they do next, quite frankly. I think the album is a tad bit too long, and there's the odd song that if I listen to individually, I wouldn't really be that fussed on.
Hmm.
But overall, I think it works together amazingly. I think it shows maturity and uniqueness in songwriting, and I'm just excited to see what comes next, personally, because there's quite a lot of different genres on this album, particularly the song "Why." Why is a question that comes to my head.
I hate that song.
Yeah, it's not good.
If that wasn't on the album, it would be even better. It'd be
Which one's
fantastic.
Yeah.
that?
It's the one that doesn't sound like anything else. So,
Anyway.
Oh, I
while
liked
Liam's
it.
listening-
Sorry,
oh god,
I thought that was a nice little.
Oh, you would.
It would just fit in with all the other randomness of the album. Go on,
My favorite tracks are "The West Is Dead," which is just
West is
unbelievable. Loaded, "To the Door," "Satan, Luella and I," Mikey's Song, 149, "Death Drive," and "Blank Slate." I wish they put "Proxy Love" and "Flex" on the album,
Dead. Yeah. Yes.
but I understand why they didn't, because they are quite different. I mean, I know that sounds strange considering we just said how different the album is, but I still kind of feel like they wouldn't fit on the album. But
Blank Slate should have been the last song.
yes, I agree, without a shadow of a doubt. I own it on red vinyl, both from the band's store, which came
Same.
with a flexi disc of
Same.
the tune Flex. I really need to learn how to play flexi discs because they just scare me that I'm just going to ruin my needle.
just put it on.
Just put it on,
Just play
but
it.
make
You
the
might just put a
weight
coin on.
lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that. And if it moves around or something, you're supposed to put a coin on it. I've seen.
Anyway. Well, but yeah, it's a great album. To be honest, I forgot that it was released this year.
Yeah, it
This
doesn't
year has
feel
been
like it, does it?
long.
It's the very beginning of this year, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
Yeah, well-
it's just unbelievable. It really is one of my favourite debuts
I feel like
in a long time.
were we like going out in places when this album was released?
Well, yeah, we were meant to go and see them in February, weren't we? But I was ill,
Yeah,
so
but I remember like you
It
playing,
must
like,
have
The
been
West is
released in
Dead and,
January.
like, it,
yeah. The West Is
Yeah.
Dead was released in 2019. The
was it?
single.
Right, okay,
Yeah.
that's why then. Cracking
And also,
album.
A few of the tracks were
Cracking
released
album.
in 2017, apparently. Just
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Satan,
that's what I'm. Yeah, Satan, Luella, and I.
Out the door as well.
Yeah, that
Out
was.
To
the
the door. Sorry.
You remember
At
me
the
showing
door.
you
At the
that
door.
on the way to Patelli, Cal?
I do, mate. Yeah, I watched that Fred Perry interview with the guy from The Horrors, is it?
Yeah, horrors. Yeah.
And Miles Kane, and they mentioned HMLTD, and I was meaning to go and listen to them for ages, but yeah, I remember listening to the Door and Proxy Love
That
on the way
was a
to
transformative
Patelli.
experience, wasn't it?
Never whole again. Do you boys have anything else to add to that?
Not than what I've already said. Just it's really good. Liam, actually, it's like one of the first times you listened to the album, wasn't it? Recently,
It is.
So
It is,
Go
yeah. Yanni, you told me to, specifically, you told me to listen to it at the beginning of the year. I don't know if
Mhm.
you getting a copy of it on vinyl.
Yes, I did.
And I guess I would have listened probably to, what's the first track called again?
The West is Dead.
The West Is
The West
Dead.
is Dead.
The West Is Dead.
And yeah, I didn't really feel it. I've kind of felt like, and I feel like I'd seen some chatter at the time as well that kind of said the same thing. Maybe that influenced my thoughts, but it seemed a bit pretentious and like the way like interviews and stuff. All just I wasn't really feeling it. And there's music.
Our good friend Melon absolutely loves them.
Yeah,
Yes,
So-
I think
and that
I
has
saw
no bearing on Liam's
What I
opinion.
was saying. No, not
But,
at
No,
all.
I know, but I feel like that might be where you heard them.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't know.
They
I'm
do
not sure
come
where I heard it.
across pretentious. I'll
Yeah.
agree with you 100% on
And
that.
definitely, I'd say like the vocal style is something you have to get used to for sure.
Yeah.
So when I very first listened to it, I wasn't. I just kind of thought it's a bit of a mess. But listening to it this week for this, I think it's a great album. It's really good. I'm glad that I went back and listened to it. I agree that it felt too long. The once or twice I've listened to it in full, but there are some like absolutely stellar standout tracks and such like different styles throughout. And I really wish I'd listened to it earlier. And I do. It's one of my regrets of 2020. I wish I'd
I
listened
did
to it
tell
earlier.
you.
Yeah. I should have given it more of a try. But yeah, I think it's worthy of a top 4 place.
Yeah.
And that brings us to number 3, Cal. What is it?
Top-
Dizzy,
the
the
top
dizzy
3.
heights of the top 3.
Ooh, here we are.
I'm so dizzy.
We made it.
This, the top 3 have changed so many times today. So I'm sure by the time I'm editing this, I'm sure I'll be annoyed at the order. But there
I'm
we are.
interested to see how this lands, to be honest,
How do you mean?
because you've changed it so much. I don't know
Yeah.
whether this is right or it's here, to be honest.
To be honest, mate, neither do I. But there we go. I'm never going to be happy. So let's just go with it.
Go on, number
Um,
3.
Deep Down Happy by Sports Team.
That's
I've
one
actually-
for all the people in the chat who listen to this podcast. We
Yeah.
mentioned them.
Hey
Way.
guys, hey, hi.
Yeah, honestly, if we'd have recorded this tomorrow, this album might have been number 1. I just don't know. I don't know. But I've not actually made that many notes on this album. But my favourite tracks are Lander, Long Hot Summer, Feels Like Fun, which I know you two aren't that keen on. The Races, which just I love more and more every time I hear it. Fishing and Stations of the Cross. But there is not a song on the album that I don't like. I remember when I first heard Sports Team, I could not stand them. And, sorry to everyone who's gonna hear that, but I think I've redeemed myself. I'm very much in love with them now. I don't know where we were going, Yanni. Another gig or
Here's the thing. Was we going to put that on? Was it, or was it?
no? I heard Here's the Thing on YouTube. It came on recommended,
Right. Sorry.
and I really liked it.
Yeah.
So I knew that one. But then we were going to a gig or rehearsal or whatever.
I think about
And then-
rehearsal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Manchester, wasn't it? But then we put a lot of their other stuff on,
Yes.
and I really started to like it, and then just went from there. And it's just a great album. I said that HMLTD was one of my favorite debuts of that I can remember for a long time.
Mhm.
Quite clearly, this just trumps it. So
Yeah.
Very
Very,
happy.
very strong debut. There was
very strong, yeah.
a lot of anticipation for this one. I know that it's the same for Liam as well.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
Yeah,
fantastic.
I own it on orange vinyl, and that is a single copy because I'm a normal person.
Don't spoil
Um,
it, Colin. Don't spoil it.
But yeah, we've got 2 tickets. Well, tickets for 2 gigs coming up to see them if
Here we have, yeah.
the world ever resumes,
Mm.
which will be rather exciting.
It's the
Start
first
of the
time you've
world.
seen them,
I want to get
Colin.
back on.
Yeah, it will be. Start the world. I want to go back on. Yeah, good one. Yeah, this will be my first time seeing them.
It's not when you
'cause-
say that after it.
Yeah, good one, Yanni.
This will be my first time seeing them. Yes, because sometimes I have to ask to be invited to places, which is not always.
Oh
the
mate,
nicest
well,
feeling.
Oh,
if you head
come
over
on.
it, it'll be one of the best experiences of your life. The last time
Yeah,
we saw
very
him,
good.
which I think was one of the last gigs I went to, I think Liam obviously
I think
probably
it was
went
the
to.
last one I went to.
It was fantastic. I ended up playing a cowbell for one of the support bands. It was really
shout out
weird.
Corton, good one.
Oh yeah, it was Corton, wasn't it? Yeah, I
was
played
Corton.
cowbell and there was a mosh pit. It was very surreal. And then me and Liam decided we were going to have many Jaeger bombs beforehand because
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
I think that was the cheapest thing to have because you can
yeah,
get
I
like
think so.
3 of
yeah.
them or something.
Oh, I had a
So
Jaeger
it
bomb
was
for
good.
ages.
Yeah.
It's really good.
You're gonna love it, mate.
Oh, I'm ready to sweat and be sick as soon as the air hits my throat.
Yeah, you
That's
will
full
sweat.
ready.
steam of the band for that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I'm ready. Yeah.
Brilliant. So, Callum, I think last time we spoke on this podcast anyway about this band, you hadn't really listened to much of their other stuff, older stuff.
Oh, I've still
In
not.
great
I mean,
detail?
obviously,
Okay.
I know,
All
I
right.
know, I know Stanton, M5, Margate, a few others,
Yeah.
but I've not listened to is it Winternet CP?
Yeah,
No.
you
Yeah.
need to listen to that.
Keep
Sort of-
walking
Yeah.
as well. Keep walking, EP.
But yeah, something that I fully intend to do. But yeah, Deep Down Happy by Sports Team, my 3rd favourite record of the year.
Beautiful.
DOS.
Beautiful.
DOS is Zeros by Declan McKenna.
Oh.
Great album. Been a big fan of Declan for a while. I think I saw Declan supporting, I think it was Cortinas.
Love a bit of death.
And I was love a bit of Deck, and I've also seen Deck recording supporting Blossoms. So I've been a fan since like 2015, 16, I'd say.
Before it was cool. Is that what you're trying to say?
Before, yeah,
Oh,
that's
you
what I
knew him
basically.
when
Yeah.
he was still a baby. Yeah.
Hashtag indie. Yeah, he'd have been about 12 then, wouldn't he? Oh, that's a bit sickening. He wouldn't have really.
I mean,
He's only 1
it's
year.
now.
He's,
It's now that you
he's
said
only
that,
1
it's
year
pretty
younger than me.
sickening.
I really liked What do you think about the car? I thought that was a very,
It's all right.
very, I thought that was a very strong
cruise control,
debut. I thought that was a very strong debut, but there was quite a few songs on there that I just didn't vibe with. Mind, for example, god awful, hate it.
Oh, really? Wow.
Have not. It's so monotonous.
Mm.
I've not listened to it since I first heard the album. I really don't like it. And there was another one, but I can't remember. But I think Zeros shows great maturity from the first album. I just can't praise it enough, really. My favourite tracks are You Better Believe, ! Be an Astronaut. Beautiful Faces, which I didn't like at all when I first heard it, but is now top 3 on the album for me.
Mm-hmm.
Twice Your Size, Rapture, Sagittarius A*, which I have it on good authority that Declan wrote about me, because I am a Sagittarius and I'm A*.
I would dispute that claim. Claim dispute.
and the album closer, Eventually Darling. I'm excited to see this album live. There was a live performance released not so long ago, which we probably should have mentioned in the weekly ep. But yeah, I think it's just there's just more going on to the first album. It's heavier, it's grander, better songs. Happy days.
I'm glad you like it, Colin.
Thank you.
I need to ask you though.
Go.
The song Rapture.
Rapture.
There is some very dubious rhyming going on in that song, and I want to ask you what you think about rhyming the word nature with Thatcher, which he does, and he says nature like Thatcher, nature. What do you think about that, Colin?
Does he?
Yes.
What's the lyric?
The rules
Can you read the
of
full lyric?
nature, Mrs. Thatcher, something like that. Promise you.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, he does, doesn't he?
He does. He does.
Oh.
Sorry if I've thrown that 4 years off.
Have you actually googled the lyrics? Though?
I'm 100% sure.
Does he actually say nature?
You're making me doubt myself.
Because surely to God he has not got away with that.
Well, I haven't let him get away with it. It's haunts my brain.
Yeah, the laws of nature, Mrs. Thatcher.
Yep, he definitely
What a
says
bitch.
nature. Just wonder what you thought about that, and I'm sorry that I had to break it to you like this live on air.
Yeah, I mean it's a great tune, but don't ever do that again, Declan.
Yeah, it's rough, isn't it?
Come on, Deckers.
Come on, mate. But yeah.
Without going too in depth, because we might spoil future podcasts. What do you boys think of this album?
I like it. I like it a lot.
Very much.
It is
Brilliant.
much grander. Yes, I think Liam said it's what you wanted the first album to be, or along those lines.
Without realising.
Limes? Along those lemons. Yeah, it's very good. I like Beautiful Faces a lot.
We all do.
Yeah,
That's why I love
particularly
doing this
mine.
podcast with you guys. You just
Don't you know it?
so gorgeous.
Yeah, I think
Because
it's a
you're
very,
filthy.
very good album. Very
Thanks,
good.
Liam.
Yes.
And I guess.
And on that note,
thanks for listening, everybody. We're gonna finish off there. No, what's left, Colin? What have we got left now? What's going on?
My number one, which I feel like somewhat I'm going to get berated for, but it's not a surprise at this point,
Beration.
is it?
If you've listened to more than one of these podcasts, I'm sure you know that.
or just one.
If
to
you've
be honest.
spoken to me for a minute, I'll have told you I've seen them 24 times, so it's fine. My number one album of the year is "Foolish Loving Spaces" by Blossoms. Now,
Okay.
this I might like how I mentioned before. My bias towards this band might have hindered my thought process here, but it is by far and away my favorite album of theirs.
Same.
And
Same,
I loved them.
guess.
I loved them. I loved them so much before. I think it's only right that. I mean, it's definitely my most played album of the year, and I don't know, just speaks to me. You know what I mean? I own this record twice.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't say about my Declan McKenna one. I've got it on splatter vinyl. There we
Nice.
go.
So that's that super rare one.
It is the super rare one, yeah.
God.
This album I own twice. I've got the glow in the dark version
Yeah.
and one I think is just black vinyl. I think. I mean, I've
also
got it.
own the glow in
I've
the
got it,
dark
I've got it.
version. Yeah.
I've not played the glow in the dark version though because
It's
Why would I?
the problem with glow in the dark ones is you need to leave them in the light, don't you, to
Exactly.
begin with, and
Yep.
obviously it's been packaged up, so I put it on. It was just so dull to look at,
Yep.
but it sounded phantasmal.
yeah, my favourite tunes. Well, they're all of them really, but the actual standout ones for me are "If You Think This Is Real Life," "Falling for Someone," and "Like Gravity." My Vacant Days is probably my least favourite. I would never put that one on first, but I still really like it and I think it's great lyrically. But yeah, so that's my number one.
Thanks, Callum.
We made it up that
Yeah.
hill.
We
That was
did.
incredible. What a
We
journey.
did. Should I do a little recap or does no one care?
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No, go on, Callum. Quick run through.
Okay, quick run through. Number 10, James Wrighton, The Performer. Number 9, Wesley Gonzalez, Appalling Human. Number 8, Porridge Radio, Every Bad. Number 7, Chiron Earth, Polly Song. Number 6, Everything Everything, Reanimator. Number 5, Alexandra Xavier, The Archer. 4, HMLTD, West of Eden. 3, Sports Team, Deep Down Happy. Number 2, Declan McKenna, Zeros. And number 1, Blossoms, Foolish Loving Spaces.
Well,
Beautiful.
well. That was some solid choices there, mate.
Thanks very much.
Some new artists in there as well, so that's good to see. Do you feel
Yeah.
like, out of all the years of your life, you've discovered more artists this year? as
Without a
well?
doubt, because of doing this podcast for about 10 weeks.
Out of the new artists this year that you've discovered,
Yep.
what would you say is your favourite one on the list of your top 10 that you've done there? Even if it's honourable as well.
Eve Tumor.
Yeah?
Without doubt, the most exciting artist I have come across for some time.
Beautiful.
Still not in your top
Anything-
10 though, is it?
No, it's not in my
That's
top
your
10
fault.
now.
That's literally on you, and you could change that
I'm not
right
denying
now
it.
if you wanted to.
I'm not denying it.
Callum,
Do you want
is
to record this whole episode again then? Yeah?
No. Callum, is there anything that you have listened to a lot that doesn't make the eligibility, including your own eligibility? Anything not released from this year?
Oh, so...
or any big
God,
artists that you've got into other than the ones from this?
You should have asked me that beforehand, my friend.
Oh, come on, Callum. Come on, Callum, baby.
Mine and Liam are going to have the same answer.
We're
Next
literally,
question as well.
literally.
well, the obvious one being the Beatles.
Okay.
Who?
Were you in the top? What was your ranking? for the
Zero,
Beatles?
0.01, I believe.
Yeah, brilliant.
A band who I loved back in the day is Cortinas, and they released an album this year. And while I do like some tunes on there, I feel like I've just grown out of them.
Oh,
Especially not being able to see them live, because that's, I know you two don't like them and I don't want to keep barking on, but I feel like they are really a live band.
it's part
Especially
of the
seeing
package.
them seeing them at Heaton Park twice. It was like amazing. Like 17-year-old me in a 25,000 people crowd. It was great. I just feel like I don't know if their songwriting's getting worse or I just don't really care as much.
Yeah.
But there we are.
There you go.
Um,
And are there any particular albums that would be on here if they happen to be from 2020 that you can think of?
well, yeah, obviously. It'd just be like every Beatles album.
Have you got a more interesting answer?
That was a bit of a dumb question, Liam.
That was a really thick question.
No, just
yeah. I
like,
don't-
like
as much as I love Blossoms, I'm not
I mean,
under
like
the
albums.
impression that it's the best album of all time.
No, I just mean like are there albums that you've discovered this year
Right.
that aren't from
I
this
really
year?
wish.
You'd
I really
word
wish
it
you'd
like
have
that.
asked me this in
Apologise.
advance.
Apologise.
I really wish you'd have asked me this in advance because I'd have a better answer. But off the top of my bonds, Not really. Oh, I would just like to say,
Go on.
the worst album
Oh,
that
Please.
I have listened to this year. I wouldn't say it was the worst, but from like excitement to delivery,
Underwhelming.
yeah, was the 1975 Notes on a Conditional Form. I pre-ordered that. It cost me about 35 quid
Jesus.
because I really liked near enough
Wonderful.
every song that they released in the lead up to the album. They were all really different. Frail State of Mind is an amazing tune. Fucking shit album. Oh my god. Anyone who has got that album in their top 10 of the year, and I've seen many record stores do it
Mm-hmm.
in a little way to butter them up to try and get in stores
Yep.
in the future.
Yeah, that's all they're doing it for.
Interviews,
talking-
exclusive.
You're talking wham. It's shit.
Last Christmas.
It's so bad. I am so unhappy that I own that album. It's unreal.
I've heard that.
Would
a
you
lot,
give it
to be
away?
fair.
I wouldn't give it away because it cost me 35 quid, but I'd definitely sell it if someone wanted it.
No one wants it.
No.
Isn't it like 60 songs long or something?
Oh, it's like 24. It's an hour and 40 minutes, and I don't like albums more than 40 minutes. I know it's not an hour and 40. That's an exaggeration. An hour and 20, something like that. Too long.
I mean, it's your own fault for anticipating that it was going to be good, if I'm honest.
Yeah, well, I liked the one they did before it, A Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships or whatever. But
Something like internet-y and,
yeah, the title is just far too long. Sorry, I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to look through my Spotify, see if there's
You're
any
being
albums that.
you're being real.
Incredibly
That's
rude.
it.
I wouldn't say that I discovered them this year, but I've listened to a lot more Dive this year.
Oh, yeah.
I like them a lot. Joe Keery from Stranger Things is
Oh, yeah.
musical
yeah,
offering. 2020 is a great album. He released a new tune this year. The name of it escapes me. Keep Your Head Up. That is funky as fuck. To be honest,
I think that's...
someone's
That's
someone's gonna have to keep
I'll let
talking.
you
'cause-
off.
Yeah,
with that one, yeah.
That was it wasn't fair of me. Although
No, it wasn't. You are correct.
I just thought maybe when you were thinking, you might have thought, turns out this one isn't even from 2020. But hey,
Yeah, I would have put Michael Kiwanuka in because I thought it was this year because of the Mercuries, but 2019.
well, there you go. That
I've
was an
listened
answer to the question.
Yeah, I've listened to a lot of Kiwanuka this year.
Kevin Nuka's a good album. Very good album.
It is.
Well,
It is.
Very good.
Callum, thank you for that. It's been
You're very
very insightful.
Yes.
It has.
I'm glad you think so.
It has. And on that note, thank you, Callum, for
Yep.
rambling about your favourite albums.
And so welcome.
Look forward, everyone, listening to mine next week. Yanni's the week after, and then our joint one in a few weeks.
I might not get to do mine, though, if you're doing yours first.
Shut up. And again, on that note, thanks for listening, and fare thee well, all.
Au revoir.
Ciao!
What are you gnawing on?
It's a hand warmer.
I actually
Why are you eating it, you fucking
I
freak?
wasn't. I was just like putting it between my teeth because it felt nice.
You can tell you used to eat rulers.
Yeah.
I popped one of the little things earlier when we were recording. Managed to pop the little fucker. How'd you even do that?
By squeezing it very hard.
Hello.
Go on, Cal.
Get on with it.